Well, once again, good evening, everyone. So we'll have to start because the call is also recorded. For those who will not be able to join right now, whenever they join, they'll be able to catch up with the introduction. So today we'll be looking at community management, and then we have our guest speaker in the house. So before we jump into invite him to talk to us, um, so we're going to give some sort of details. So Mr. Daniel Elanire is a community manager, founder of Christian Culture. So it's a community where they hike, and it's quite. I think exactly today, I didn't like when we reached out to him. We didn't really know that today is going to be like an anniversary. So today was the anniversary of Christian Culture. So it's quite a bit interesting to find out that someone can manage a community for 1 year, and then it's been growing both social media, both in terms of the people. I think today they had over 100 persons at the hike group, so like the hike and pray. So we'd want to also figure out how these are done. So we could also have, we have community manager too, we have digital marketer, we have content creators. So all of these people will need to learn one or two from to a group of people, and then you are able to maintain it consistently and committedly over a period of time. So give it up for Mr. From now till about 7:50. He has the floor, both answers, both his talk and his questions, everything.
All right, Rav. Good evening. Um, I want to appreciate everyone for the opportunity to actually share my beats on how to proper community management and all of that. And it is a privilege to be in your midst this evening. So yeah, and so this may come off as an experience based knowledge, and also based on based on based on lot of mentoring and tutoring and all of that has been able to bring me to the level I've been to the level that I operate on presently. So when Ralph talked to me about the topic, it was a very, very funny topic because it spoke directly to what I am currently doing right now. So for the Christian culture community, the brand image is clear, and then yes, God has been helping us as well. So yeah, let's dive right to it, and because I finished a meeting not long ago, and I had to jump on this one just to make sure that I can keep up with the schedule that I committed to. So for community management, the focus for and a clear objective of as to why the community even exists in the first place. So until the why is answered, you understand, there are lots of uncertainties as to why another person would commit to wanting to join you to actually build on anything at all. So until the question why, the reason is answered, you cannot exactly have people that would share the same interest with you. Now, for everybody that comes around you as a person, they are attracted to something, and it is what you have to offer, and it is if it aligns with their goals and objectives, basically. So, the primary focus is fostering relationship and participation, creating a sense of belongings amongst the people that you're trying to grow with, literally. So, a few things to note. Right now, for to foster a very healthy community, you understand, there are a few things to really pay attention to. Number one is communication, a clear communication of the goals and objectives. Right, once that is clear, it's crystal clear that okay, this is where we're headed, and then there is a roadmap directing people, making people have the believe in the fact that okay, that this thing has like a goal and an objective. Then you begin to see people tilt towards it. They are not just particularly attracted to you as a person, but that there is a goal, that this every given time that, okay, yes, and this is where we're headed as a community. Then the other thing to also take note of is adaptability, because you're dealing with human beings, you're dealing with emotions, you're dealing with a lot of things, and it matters the most how you're able to adapt and make adjustments when there is make adjustments when the need arises. Very, very, very important, and stuff like that. So adaptability is key. You understand? Clear communication is key. If you do not communicate the objectives of what you're trying to build in a community, then people would likely not understand you and stuff like that. And the communication has to do with a lot, not just verbal communication, but we're talking about to understand people's ideologies and also welcome them in order for you to be adaptable and make those adjustments that are necessary. So you see that they work hand in hand, because you're communicating. People are able to you are able to adapt when you get feedbacks, and then people are able to adapt as well when they understand the goal and it is clearly communicated. So it's very, very important that the communication is crystal clear, and then there's how to adapt when the need arises. Nevertheless, in as much as the goals and objectives are quite clear. So they are essential skills to note, which is also communication skills, which is also empathy, learning how to be bringing solutions to problems, organizational skill. Now, for every community that you want to build, you want to have a structure in terms of organization. There needs to be a structure, like a system that shows the roadmap, not just roadmap, but shows the designated roles that people, because number one, you want people to feel a sense of belonging. So there should be a roadmap that shows some level of direction as well. You understand? And then it shows that the organization is intact, because you have a structure, a working structure, where there are people that play various roles, and then they are straight to the objectives of the roles that have been given to them. Now, in all of these things, you're building up relationships. You understand? You're building up brand loyalty. You're building up brand identity. You understand? Because as you're working with people, it should be at the back of your mind that, okay, they need to incorporate this brand or whatever it is, the community's identity in their self. They need to see themselves in it. So in all of that branding strategy and all of that, you will need to pay attention to how people actually react to how you're branding the entire community in a long run. And all these things borders on structure and borders on how you're able to facilitate the structure of the organization. Now, the other thing is moderation, because for everything you do, you need to you need to moderate, be able to manage people's excesses, because in as much as your community is open to a lot of people for participation and lots of people like your identity, some people might just have their own agenda, have their own plan. You understand? And they have seen the community as a portal to actually showcase their own objective. Now, their objective might be similar, but might not align to the goals and objectives of that community. So what you need to do is learn to moderate at every given time. We have chat moderators now, even in like normal tech spaces and all of that. You have chat moderators, you have all of that thing. So that moderation is so that people do not push you to a corner that you're not able to manage. You're tilting from the original goal and objective as to why that community was bettered in the first place. Very, very important. And then another thing you should also be very, 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 very susceptible to is feedback collection, because at the end of the day, you will need to have feedbacks. You will need to understand whether people get you. You need to understand whether whether people are aligned with the goals and objectives of the community, whether they even understand it in the first place, and whether you're doing well as a manager. Because at the end of the day, you are a manager. You are literally trying to guide people and make people understand the objective as to why they should be with you in the first place and all of that. So the other thing you need to learn also is conflict resolution. When you're managing a community, you cannot rule that out, because you're dealing with people, like I said, that have with different emotions and different background and all of that. There's a way they see life and there's a way they want things done, and in by so doing, you understand, there will usually be conflict of interest, and there will usually be, and because of there's a conflict of interest in one thing or the other, there will usually be a disagreement. So your ability to manage these things I've just noted, like manage conflict and all of that, is what makes you a great manager at the end of the day, because you know when to apply pressure and when not to. So it is just, these are like the very basic tools in terms of community management. And from there, you begin to have people that are loyal to the community, loyal to the brand, because there has been synergy. There has been alignment. So they are just about the core values of the community and are ready to see the community grow. You understand? So there's a lot of build up around it, and for me, these are like the key things to note. Your communication skill has to be up. You understand? Your adaptability has to be up. Your conflict resolution skills have to be up, and all of that. By so doing, you would have been able to grow a community that are not just loyal but understand the vision of the community at large and are ready to drive the vision to the next step. So these are like the few things I can share right now, because to us, knowing also how to manage emotions, people's emotions and all of that, because you're not just managing a person, but you're dealing with their emotions. You're dealing with their emotions. It could be down today, it could be up tomorrow, and then there could be some lash out and all of that. So you as a person would also learn to control your own emotions and all of that. You should learn not to allow your emotions take the better part of you, or else you would find yourself always in very difficult situations where there are lots of conflicts, and then there's lots of disagreement because you do not know. Because anything that, as far as you're a manager, it means you're up of the food chain, and then there are certain sacrifices that will need to be made from your own angle in terms of how you manage your emotions. Is a sacrifice, because at the end of the day, you're not supposed to showcase that, okay, you have anger issues. If you have anger issues, you're definitely not going to deal with people well. You're definitely not going to handle people correctly. So these are things that you need to master. At the end of the day, there are certain character traits that you literally need to possess, and then have a good grip of them. For everything that you do, if you're not getting feedback, then you might not know whether you're doing it well or you're not. So at the end of the day, the feedback, it matters the most that you get feedback and stuff like that. For everything, projects that you're trying to carry out as a community, for everything you're trying to do, you try and get feedback to know whether you're on course. Because in as much as you've spelled the goals and objectives to people, some people pay attention a lot to know when you have derailed. So by the time they have noticed that you have derailed, and then you're not even willing to get feedback to know whether you're on course or not, you understand? It means you in a long run you'll be a very bad manager. So these are like key things I just thought I could share with you, so that you know exactly how it has been over time on how to manage communities and all of that. And I hope that this is beneficial to some of us that are on this call. And then I would like to hear from anybody that has a question as regards some of these things that I just mentioned. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Daniel. Please, can we just use the emoji? Just put a clap for him. Just appreciate him. That's wonderful. You know, people pay for services like this. Yeah, it's correct. Like I'm saying, this is speaking from experience, like being able to manage. For those of us who just joined the call, I mentioned that this is 1 year of managing a community that grows literally every month. And then for you to have someone missing that event, it means the person is not literally available. Like they don't have a choice. That's why they are missing the program. So we're going to take questions. If you have a question about community management, you can go ahead and shoot your question. Yeah, just indicate. Yeah, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Question or maybe you are handling a position in a certain group or community are you talking
Okay,
of?
so I didn't get your
Thank you.
question, whether it is a company or position. So both ways, you understand. A manager is so when you talk about community management, it can be a group of people, it can be a company, because at the end of the day, what's you're leading a group of people. That's what makes you in the management in the first place. Do you get? You are literally leading a group of people, and you're fostering care, you understand, providing solutions, and also building you want to. But for me right now, I'm talking about group of people, like a group of people that have a shared interest, shared goals and objectives, and you happen to be the founder as well, and then you happen to be the leader of the community. So that's what I was also referring to, based on experience.
All right, thank you very much, Grace. I hope that answers your question.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
yeah. So regardless of, I think that's one of the things you appreciate. It's generalistic. Regardless of wherever you hold, you're actually managing a people, and then your contribution actually either leads to the growth or to the reduction of the participation of the community. Over to your heritage, please.
Okay. Good evening once again, everybody. My question is that I want to know how, as a community manager, you can engage the group agent and the community or the group that you're managing. Then also, I would like to know what are the list of things like daily routine that a community manager is supposed to check the box for each.
Oh, okay. Well, in terms of that, you get, so for every time you're for to engage the communities, you understand, there are lots of activities that you can actually create, you understand, on the group. For example, I manage a Christian culture community, you understand. We raise like very key topics, sensitive topics in the society. For example, we raise relationship topics sometimes during the some weeks during the group. We just raise a topic like, okay, what do you think about a certain subject matter? Now, first of all, like I said, for every community, there's just shared interest. There's a reason why some as to why they do what they do. So it matters the interest. That's the scope of that community. So if you're managing a community that let's say a community that is about relationships per se, I'm just giving a vague example now. You would literally know that what would keep that community engaged would be surrounded around the goal and objective of that community, more or less. For example, for relationships, you can bring up topics, you understand. They could be checkup calls and all of that, and then just to create engagements, there could be content as well, literal content, you understand, and stuff like that. So there are just a lot of activities to keep the community very active and all of that. So I just started an example that we raise topics, group calls from time to time, you understand. We do a lot of mentoring and all of that, and reorientation, basically. So these are things that people, of course, you when you study a terrain, like you do take for example Nigeria, there are lots of things flying in the atmosphere today that has further made people derail live like a very disciplined life. Do you get what I mean? So these are sensitive topics that you go up to hear people's opinion, to share their thoughts, share their ideas, and all of that. They feel a sense of belonging by doing all of that, and they will always be interactive. Do you get? So I feel like you need to. It is dependent on the niche, and you need to actually really look inwardly to community. So I might be giving a suggestion, an example that might not exactly that is pertaining to the community that I manage. That's why I cited that example on relationship. So yes, I hope that helps in terms of engaging the community.
Incredible. Yeah, yeah, was awesome. Thank you, thank you. So, do we have any other question? The call is maxed at 1 hour, so we have quite some minute. I know he had quite a long day, just finished the call and joined this call. And then obviously there might be other things to catch up with. And then also those of us on the call might have plans for the new week. So if you have a question, please go ahead before we call it off.
Grace still has her hands up.
Yeah, I think it was the one she raised initially. So who else has a question? This is not it's not compulsory that you are a founder or you are one managing 1,000 people, but in as much as you have somebody who reports to you, even one or two, so you could ask a question around that. Okay, so if we do not have a question, yeah. So just basically before we go, thank you everyone for joining and then that was quite brief. And then so we have this feature call every month, every last Saturday of the month. So from topics to topics, we have guests from Germany, from Kenya, come talk to us about mentorship, how to get started in tech. So Thinkficial is a tech organization that builds website, mobile application, and anything that has to do with tech. You want to learn a tech skill, either web or mobile application development or data analysis, whether you're trying to do it online or virtual, have a physical office at Lugbe, quite close to the airport road. So if you want to get all of those details, you could also reach out and follow us on our pages. So I'm going to drop the link. You could find more details about Thinkficial. And then there's also a feedback form. If you have a topic in mind or you want to be one of our guest speakers, we could actually reach out to you. So if you take the chat session, you will see all of our links like the website, the Facebook page, the X page, the LinkedIn, Instagram, and all of that. So we also post contents that are quite informative to those who are interested in tech. And then there's sometimes we have strategic contents that are done with like 1 minute video, 30 seconds video that actually passes a message to our followers. So you want to keep in touch by checking out our page on social media. Yeah. So is there any other general questions so that we can call it off? Aside the topic for today, do you have any other question? Okay, so as part of what we do on our virtual call, so you're going to do something for us. If you're on X or Instagram, so you want to tag Thinkficial and then mention what you learn. So the person with the highest engagement will get some data. So we'll reach out to you for your. So, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can hear you.
Hi, Heritage. Hi, Frederick. Hi, Favor. Hi, Funaya. Hi, John.
Hi, I can hear you.
All right, great. So let's do that and then we'll get.
Clear.
All right, thank you. We'll reach out to the person with the highest engagement for data reward. All right, thank you for joining our call. Thank you very much, Mr. Daniel Elanire from the manager's desk. We appreciate you for taking out your time with your busy schedule to come talk to us from your experience. We know these things are things people pay for, but then thank you for coming to speak to our community of tech people. So looking forward to seeing you all in our next virtual call in the last Saturday of, someone is about to join, in the last Saturday of May. All right. So have a great day ahead. Bye.